and I just looked at my analytics. Hey, this is my first live stream, and I just looked at my analytics, and clearly nobody's watching me. So I'm not so afraid as I was about uploading anything. I don't know if anybody can hear me. Well, I know nobody can hear me because nobody's there, but I am just doing this for practice, and this is Halloween, and it's so spooky for me to be doing this because normally I don't go live, and or I don't think I do because I also don't know what happens in the outside world. Um, and the spookiest thing for me is trying to describe to people like the NHS, doctors, and clinicians what's happening on the outside with me without giving too much away because I could be one of those people who's sectioned for life if I told them what I thought was happening inside my head. But they look at me and they go, "You seem okay." And I'm like, "I feel okay." And they do, "Are you sure you don't want to tell us something else?" And I'm like, "No." "Are you sure?" And I like, "No, nothing else. Feel fine." But it's quite scary because I'm treading a thin line, trying to avoid being put on pills and putting being put away. So I'm not going to mention anything that's too strange on this. But this week I was looking at Professor Dacher Keltner's website. He's from University of Berkeley, and he talks about people getting awe. And as I'm particularly empathic, since I'm considered enlightened and a Buddha, that I actually do feel awe a lot. And he was saying how people don't feel awe, or if they do, they generally feel awe in the way of what amazing people they are and what amazing things they've done for themselves. Um, but what I feel awe about is actually when people tell me that they've done something for themselves, like maybe they're going to uh, what were one of the things that I saw. They generally try to tell me that they've done something, like they've gotten into a really good school that they wanted to get into, like Cambridge, or they got into a art, acting school, and they've been trying for 2 or 3 years, or they won a gold in a jujitsu competition. And I absolutely get goosebumps because I get so thrilled for them. And I feel awe all of the time. And I feel really lucky because it gives me such a thrill when I do, when I do um, get to experience the awe. And it's profound because it goes all the way down my legs and down my arms and tingles down the back of my neck. And it thrills me to bits to be able to do that because I don't get so much awe for myself. Like, I mean, I think if I'm understanding properly, there's actually people who watch me and think I do amazing stuff, like, making connections between videos or pieces of information, or that I have some sort of hearing going on, some connections with other people outside of um, what my physical realm is. Um, and I don't feel any awe about that. I just accept it as something that happens because because it does, because it's been going on for a long time. And to feel awe about myself seems like an anathema to me because I don't know. It's just something that I do, and okay, I work hard. I try to be honest, and I try to be good, and I try to be good to other people. I do try. I mean, I'm not perfect, obviously, but it's something that I try to do for my for myself because it makes me feel good because then I don't feel guilty and I don't have like raging neuroses going on in my head about what I did this time and how I'm going to fix it next time. And I just, each moment, I just now, since I'm enlightened, is like much easier experience because I look at the situation um, and I feel like it's I can make enough space in the moment of time to be able to react or to be able to behave without reacting too strongly. And and when I do that, then I know I can make space for other people, um, and draw out their information and make them feel good about themselves and turn the situation around so that it's a good experience for us both. Well, I think that's what I do. That's what I try to do. And so today I was looking at a classical music uh, concert by a very well known musician, and you read down through the comments below, and you just think some people say bad, really poor performance, kind of not up to scratch, and all that. I'm like, are you people correct? Do you know how long it took this guy to get to the point where he could actually perform in front of an international audience or even in front of an audience in the first place? And you're putting him down. And then you go to the guy's website, and the last thing the guy uploaded was from 2018, July of 2018. And it says Halloween on it. It said Halloween on it. It didn't make any sense. And it just was, three albums or concerts by famous classical musicians. But I don't understand why the guy would try to put down a classical music concert when he doesn't seem like he's probably a musician himself, or maybe he's an aficionado, something. But he's not providing anything positive in the situation. He's just kind of spouting off about what he thinks is bad rather than actually promoting what the guy and helping the guy to see himself as better or to improve upon himself. So that's one thing that I find that kind of spooky, and you're never going to reach a level of awe if you're constantly trying to poke other people's work. If you're just trying to constantly find holes, I mean, you have to be positive when you try to compare people and to look at people and to say you could do this better. And then I've got this friend at the gym. The gym I go to is really good because what like she said, what happens here is that people, as long as you work hard and you keep trying to get better, then you're accepted into the fold, and it feels kind of like a family there. Because what happens is you go in and they tell you how you could get better, or they say I see you get better, or they involve you in competitions, and they make it so that you work harder and you come along, and you feel better about yourself. And she said it's such a good um, thing it's such a good basis for a society to have people kind of look at you and say, look, I know what you started with and what you're able to do now, and it's extraordinary. And especially for a woman like her, because she has MS and she used to be an international competitor, and she would work out 6 hours a day when she was competing in rowing. And um, and then now that she has MS, and I don't know how old she is, she's about my age, and people have told her, people have sent her positive articles saying, well, if you lift weights, there's new studies to show that it actually helps reconnect part of the neurons in your brain and makes it easier or less likely that your muscles will deteriorate as quickly as they had been. So now she goes in and they help her to lift weights, and they make sure that she's um, looked after, and they really involve her. And she said, and I feel so good when I come here. And she spends sometimes 3 hours a day there because in the summertime when she can, when she's not teaching. And then she says she goes back to her school where she teaches, I think it's English. And she said, I'll start being the same way as everybody else with pecking orders and competitiveness. And the school she teaches at is like extraordinary high level for senior kind of students. And she said she will behave in a way that she's not very proud of, but it's it's all part of the culture that she's involved in. But when she's at the gym, she feels like she changes herself. And I don't know, I think that's what people should be trying to do. They should be trying to boost each other's morale, and they should be trying to feel awe about other people's achievements because I mean, your achievements are okay, but in reality, if you don't have other people around and other people that feel good about themselves and other people that are going to make an effort to be your friends, then your existence doesn't really matter all that much and your achievements don't matter all that much. So if you can boost other people and make other people feel good about themselves, they'll start to feel good about you too, and your life will be a lot better, I think. And so that's like my Buddha statement for today, and that was quite scary for me. And I think I skirted the issue of um, um, you know connections. We'll just put it that way pretty well. And I'm going to try and keep it at that level because, well, I was looking at my statistics and, not that many people are looking at my stuff. Actually, right now I see one person is looking at my stuff. I don't know what's happening over here. And on my other kind of phone, and if that information goes out somewhere else, I don't know what's happening. But yeah, and so the one that's been the most viewed is, like I said, travel. So I should probably focus on travel, but I'm just going to work myself into a situation where I actually um, can get to a point where where I know what I want to present. Because right now I'm just talking off the top of my head and trying to get used to being live and presenting myself on film and being able to look at everything again. And I don't have good lighting. You can see that the lighting isn't right, so I have to fix that. And yeah, I'll just have to go from there. But I am actually pretty happy right now because the spookiest and scariest thing for me is getting on to a PC and going live. And I did it. And I did it on Halloween because people, call me a witch or a cat or I must be scary for a lot of people. I thought it was appropriate to start it on Halloween. And maybe the sound wasn't so good, but what are you going to do? I I got here pretty good. Bye.